Robert,
Yo, what's shaking AC?
now, do you ever practice that in front of the mirror?
No, I practice other things like flexing my biceps, and I'm like, you
Yeah.
look good.
Well, hey, if you can't say it to yourself, who can?
That's
If
right.
that
That's
made any
right. I
sense.
mean,
But
you need a little bit of pick me up after the day I've been having. I fell up the stairs this morning. I was
oh,
rushing and I tripped and I tore my pants and bruised my elbow, smashed into the wall, spilled coffee all over the place. It's like, wow.
you're like, I'm impressed with myself. I fell up the stairs. Well, I can see that though, with all that rush, when you're rushing around and all that. So, okay, let's chill out. Let's have a little rant. Let's talk about something that's relevant, to the world. What would you like to rant about today?
Well, I think something that's on a lot of people's mind is management versus leadership. Because I mean, specifically, we're going through some new hiring at Control V, and this is what I'm trying to pull out of some of the candidates is, how do you define that difference? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who they are. Do they see the difference between authority and influence, or how does that affect management, leadership, and whatever? Yeah, let's talk
Hmm.
about that. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I'll start with my thoughts, and then you can either agree or disagree. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I see a manager as somebody that is more, hands-on and responsible for the technical, the jobs in the business. Somebody that's sort of organized and can bring things together and make sure that stuff gets done. And then I see a leader more as somebody that is, it's more like their actions are influencing other people, but they think more about the people in their care. They listen to the people, and they're thinking more about the people's growth versus getting jobs done. That's how I see it. But yeah, I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, I like to define it as like the difference between a job and a personality trait. And I also think about like it's backwards compatibility here, right? You could have the job of being a manager, but that doesn't mean you're a leader, that you can lead people. You can be a leader and have the job of being a manager, or you could be a leader and not have a job of being a manager. I mean, you could just be a regular employee, right? And I think it comes to the distinction between authority and influence. Managers have and people with management tendencies have a task list of things that need to happen, and they deploy that based on the authority that they're granted by their superiors. Whereas a leader will operate under influence, and that people will want to do things, and they will want to complete tasks, and they will want to move forward, and they grow because that leader has influenced them. It's more of a personality trait than a tangible quality, I guess. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, and this is what I actually talk about this a lot, that people, like, everybody has the opportunity to be a leader. Like, in your role, whatever you do, whether you're, it's a volunteer position you've got, or you're an employee in a company, you're a franchisee, you're an employee for a franchisee, you can be a leader. And I always say being a leader is about the influence that you have on people.
Like
That
you
dog
just
just jumped
influenced the
up.
dog to get on your lap.
Yeah. So anybody that's listening to this and can't see what just happened, a dog just jumped up on my lap. Not my dog, the
Okay.
office dog, one of the office dogs. So anyway, now I have a dog on my lap. Okay. He's really loving today. He keeps doing this. Okay. So a leader, like in a role that you're in, it's the actions that you take and the influence that you have on people that can make you a leader. So a leader could be because stood up for yourself, you stood up for a right, or you spoke up, or you use your voice for something impactful, or you make change happen. Like, there's different things that people would look at as what they would call you, like how they would define, I guess, a leader.
Yeah. You know what I think is sometimes really frustrating these days with the term leader or leadership, is that a lot of people on their resume will have jobs that presumably needed leadership, but they actually needed management. And they'll
Yeah.
say, hey, I'm a leader, or in their skills, they'll say leadership skills. And my question is, how good are they? Because this can't be a buzzword that you just add on to a resume, or something where you describe yourself. These are critical because they mold the culture. And without a good culture in your company, your company's worthless, because it'll eventually tank or implode or whatever. People will get upset, they will leave. So leadership is not just a buzzword. It's not just a quality. I love that dog. He's like, hey, pay attention to me.
Go over there. Okay.
So it's something so critical that I think sometimes gets overlooked. Not only that, not everyone is born with leadership skills, and not everyone can develop them. Some people can, but some people can't.
That's an interesting, bold statement. I want to go kind of into this idea of can a manager be good at what they're doing if they're not a good leader? Can a manager just manage by, because what I'm picturing is like somebody who would be kind of heavy-handed and like authoritative, can you be a manager without being a good leader?
Well, I guess that depends on the job description. You can get a lot done through authority. And if those are your tasks, yeah, you'll get your job done, but you won't get reap the long-term benefits of people being happy, wanting to come back.
And then you deal with turnover. I'm picturing, like, when I think of a manager, like in a fast food, restaurant or something, or where it's pretty like young, entry level. Okay, I'm just going to manage these people. Like, I mean, it might work a little bit there, but things have changed. And I think people really know that they have the value, or they have they come from the position of strength and can move on to another job. So I think the answer is, yeah, you might get away with it for a short period of time, but it's probably not going to be sustainable.
It depends on the culture of the company. Maybe the culture of the company is, or the structure of the company even, is you have 10,000 people doing the same repetitive job, and the job of the manager is to go there and just make sure they're on time and doing it. And there is no interpersonal relationship. And so when you start getting turnover, that's when you start getting frustrated employees, office drama starts coming around. Yeah. But if you have the capacity to also be a leader to those 10,000 people, now maybe that's a bit of an exaggerated example, you could probably get better results in your management spectrum by incorporating those leadership qualities.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is just, fortunately, the world is changing and people are cluing in to things like culture and the importance of good leadership. And I think understanding, I really think you need both. You need all of it. Like, you can't just be like a visionary leader who walks around inspiring people. Now, I guess maybe the idea there is that by inspiring people to do what they need to do, it happens more naturally. You don't have to be like making sure stuff gets done.
Yeah. You know what? I think I heard Simon Sinek say that.
I just was thinking of Simon Sinek as I said that. I was like, what would Simon say?
the only thing a leader can do is inspire people to do remarkable things. And the only tool they have to garner that inspiration is changing the environment and moving it from an environment of happiness and excitement to fulfillment and satisfaction, So I think that's, I mean, that says it all. You know what? I was just chatting with a dude at the pool hall, another entrepreneur, and he said the most important position he has in his company is somebody that manages and regulates the culture. He says, without them, my whole company would be toast. It isn't the finance guy. It isn't the ops guy. It isn't the frontline team. It is the person responsible for the culture, chief happiness officer, culture director, or whatever.
Yeah, I get that, man. I have such a passion for the importance of like the culture piece. And not that I know always what to do or always get it right, but it is definitely the reason that the team that I'm on, that I have, it has grown to what it has, and that the people on the team, they know their value. Like, we ask them every quarter in our check-ins, like, do you feel heard? Do you feel, are you using your superpowers? Like, what's the best thing about being on this team? And the answers are always about like the alignment and the core values that we are all sharing, and the happiness it all leads to. So I think the bottom line is, I think leadership is the way of the future. That sounds really cheesy. I don't know. I was trying to figure out a way to sort of wrap this up.
Okay. Well, let's just wrap it up, right?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go be awesome.